news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Thanks for joining us this half hour. I'm Tim Gordon, and we start with breaking news of a drowning out in Yamhill County. The sheriff's office tells us that just after 7:30 this morning, a caller reported seeing a sedan get swept up by fast-moving floodwater. This was on Southwest Dijon Road, north of Ballston Road in rural Sheridan. The caller said they saw a single person get out of the car and disappear into the water. The victim, a 52-year-old man from Amity, was later recovered with the help of a rescue volunteer. We'll continue to follow this for any updates. And now to your top stories nationally. A top White House official says some, but not all, of the documents connected to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein will be released before today's deadline. Under legislation passed by Congress, officials must release all the files by the end of the day, midnight tonight. In response, Senator Chuck Schumer, the Senate's top Democrat, said failing to meet today's deadline is, quote, breaking the law. The documents are expected to include grand jury testimony, investigative records, and other material usually shielded from public view. And President Donald Trump says he is not ruling out going to war with Venezuela. In a phone interview with NBC's Kristen Welker Thursday, the president confirmed that it was a possibility, saying his administration will continue to strike alleged drug boats, seize oil tankers, and blockade sanctioned vessels from the country. The Trump administration is pausing the diversity visa program that allowed the suspect in the Brown University and MIT shootings to come to the U.S. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem announced the pause in a post on social media, calling the program, which makes up to 50,000 green cards available each year by lottery, disastrous. Nearly 20 million people applied for that visa lottery in 2025. Well, our top story continues to be the weather impact alert here. While the rain over Portland has stopped, the concern is now with flooding and high water levels. This is a live look at the muddy Willamette River. You can see the debris in the water there moving through. Meteorologist Rod Hill joins us now with the details. Hey, Rod.
You know, Tim, that was a 9-foot rise in river level thanks to the 2 inches of fell, over the city yesterday. It's holding as high as it looks, and with all the debris that we're seeing washing down, there's some logs right there. It's holding about 3 feet under flood stage. It is not, repeat, it is not expected to go any higher, but it will be remaining fairly steady for the remainder of today. The river that's been the anchor or the centerpiece of our news covers, because this time around seemed to be the hardest hit, is the Clackamas going into Oregon City. Now, the river has reached its high point. The crest this morning was about 7 feet above flood stage. That happened in the 9 o'clock hour. It is now still coming down slowly, but get this, it may not get fully below flood stage until after 10 p.m. or even close to midnight tonight. It's expected to be down. You can see the curve, the projection downward. It's expected to be below flood stage tomorrow morning at sunrise by about 2 feet. So that's the latest on that river. Here's a look at downtown Portland right now. You can see some water droplets on the lens and some dark clouds over the West Hills. So we have had a nice break of sunshine at times today, but there are scattered showers out there. Right now we're at 47 degrees and the forecast moving forward, really no concerns with the active weather. Just sun breaks, scattered showers, west winds at times 15, 20 miles per hour. Temperatures holding about 47 through 4 o'clock down to 44 at 8 p.m. We have the impact alert up, Tim, primarily continued for the river flood warnings in place. All of that should be out of here by tomorrow morning as we look forward to a cool but much more quiet weather pattern in the days ahead. For now, back to you.
Okay, thanks, Rod. Well, ODOT is reminding drivers heading toward Mount Hood to be extra cautious because of high water and landslides. Several state highways were shut down this morning because of them. Right now, that includes Oregon 224, about 10 miles southeast of Estacada, Highway 211 east of Molalla, and State Route 35 from the junction with Highway 26 to about halfway to Hood River. And a traffic alert here at noon in Tillamook County. Highway 101 is closed where North Main Street meets First Street north to Fred Meyer. The Wilson River Loop is also closed. Both closures mean the only detour available is through Banks and Highway 26. The Sandy River remained under a flood warning until 10 o'clock this morning. We want to zero in on the Sandy River Delta now. It's a spot that easily floods and where homeless people often camp illegally. The Department of State Lands has been sending crews out multiple times a week to clear those illegal camps and post notices about getting out. KGW's Blair Best went there for a first-hand look. She found, despite the notices and warnings, there are still homeless people staying there.
As you look right here behind you, they got flooded underneath the bridge all the way up to their chest. Yeah, all the stuff was floating down the river, and the dogs were on top of the bed. It's pretty bad out here.
That homeless man has been camping at the Sandy River Delta for 6 years, but after it started flooding yesterday, he did move to higher ground. Meanwhile, the state says anyone camping in a flood area does so at their own risk. And now at noon, longtime local NASCAR driver Greg Biffle died on Thursday after the plane he was on crashed and exploded while trying to land in North Carolina. Biffle grew up in Camas and spent some 18 years climbing to the top of his sport. Catherine Cook has more after speaking to people who knew him.
Greg Biffle hasn't lived in Camas for a long time, but his roots are still here. So are the signs of what he'll always mean to this community and the Northwest.
Congratulations to the 16.
You're the man. That was awesome. Way to go. Way to stay with it.
The year was 2013. Race car legend and Camas native Greg Biffle had just notched his final NASCAR win, the Quicken Loans 400.
It's definitely a special day. You know, it was Father's Day, my first, Emma's first victory lane.
Biffle's family would remain the center of his world until Thursday, a day no one could have imagined.
Plane just crashed at Lakewood.
Biffle, his wife, their 2 kids, and 3 others were killed when the small jet plane Biffle owned crashed at an airport in North Carolina. That's according to a statement released by NASCAR. It's unclear who was flying the plane.
It was hard.
Ron Hughley is still processing the news. The Portland International Raceway GM met Biffle 30 years ago, even raced against him at the old Portland Speedway. And last summer, long after Biffle retired from the track, he welcomed him back to PIR for the ARCA race.
It was just good to see him here, back doing what he loves doing. Anytime something senseless happens, it hurts, of course, but Greg was a champion. He was a great guy, true humanitarian.
Never was that more evident than last year after Hurricane Helene devastated North Carolina, where Biffle lived. Biffle used his personal helicopter to help victims and deliver supplies. This video shows a victim signaling for help with a mirror, one of many whose homes were destroyed.
It's been a great thing. It's a great feeling to help someone out of that situation.
Biffle also recruited other NASCAR teams to help during the aftermath. Former Camas Mayor Scott Higgins remembers watching.
And I hope the community takes that lesson. It's like when you've been blessed, when you've been given opportunity, you don't just sit back and enjoy that. You help others. And I could see that a lot in his life.
a life Higgins wanted to honor. In 2006, when Camas celebrated its centennial, the city declared this part of Lake Road Greg Biffle Boulevard. The sign is still here.
It's really just an honor to say, hey, you're from our community.
Only now, it means a lot more.
I'm sure there's a whole lot of people hurting a lot right now.
In Camas, Catherine Cook, KGW News.
Well, doctors are urging people to get their flu shots before all the holiday parties and family gatherings. A look at how this year's flu cases in the Northwest compare to last year's. And we're getting down to crunch time before Christmas, and a lot of you might be missing that holiday magic. How one expert says you can try to manage the stress of the season.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
While flu cases are starting to rise across the Northwest, doctors say this year looks fairly typical. In Oregon, health experts warn we have not yet hit the peak, meaning there is still time to get vaccinated. Doctors say rates have dropped since the pandemic and say that is concerning since more people getting the flu shot means less spread. Last season, we saw more children getting sick than in years past.
One of the things that we've seen is more kids getting sick than did historically, which obviously is of grave concern. And so, again, kids have generally lower immunity, which is why if more of us are protecting ourselves, we are also protecting them.
The Oregon Health Authority says if you get your flu shot now, it can give your body enough time to build up protection before going to crowded places like airports, shopping centers, or family gatherings. Meantime, the Trump administration says it will begin taking steps to end gender-affirming care for transgender children. The proposals would pull federal funding from hospitals that offer the care to minors. And the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services will begin implementing rules to prohibit hospitals from providing things like puberty blockers and hormone therapy. In a news conference yesterday, Health and Human Services Secretary RFK Jr. called gender-affirming care, quote, malpractice.
Healthier Together, sponsored by Regents Blue Cross Blue Shield of Oregon.
Well, the holidays are here, and for a lot of people, that also means a lot of stress. On this Healthier Together, we're focusing on ways to manage that. Dr. Mike Franz, a board-certified child, adolescent, and adult psychiatrist, says 90% of Americans experience increased anxiety during the holidays. He says it's usually a mismatch between the expectations we think we need to meet and what we really want to do.
But if we're alone, it can be a time of extra loneliness. If we're struggling with grief or have anniversaries of loved ones' deaths around the holidays, this can trigger some sadness, some anxiousness. And then there's the financial pressures of the holidays.
With about half of people in the U.S. stressed about family gatherings, Dr. Franz says, if you got loved ones who you don't share the same views, we'll try to steer clear of heated debates. Also, stick to routines and healthy habits like eating well and exercising. All right, let's get to Rod now.
Well, here we are, the weekend going into Christmas week with the resorts are not open. Step one is to get some snow. Well, we have some snow. There's 29 degrees. Pretty good batch over Highway 26 on Mount Hood. Step two, of course, would be to get feet of snow so the resorts can open. That does not look like it's going to happen between now and next Thursday. Your forecast is cooler overall, and that is coming up.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
All right, Jolly St. Rod is here.
Ho, 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 ho. My red
Here he
sweater.
is. Yeah,
and
you're looking sharp.
Somewhat of a belly to match, if I don't mind saying so myself. Okay, let's get you out the door with the rain totals for starters. If you haven't seen this, 210 is what fell in Portland. Remember, the projection was right about 2 inches for the Rose City, and then heavier amounts to the south. That turned out to be exactly right. 2.94 down in Eugene. The wet spot, Tillamook, 5.43. Of course, we started our day with several closures on 101, in part because of Wilson River flooding in Tillamook. And then down in Lincoln County, there were some closures because of some power lines and trees down. One aspect of the wind, remember yesterday we had a wind warning for Lincoln County and south down the coast? Newport reported about 8 solid hours starting, it was either 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning, of 50-plus mile-per-hour winds every single hour. Despite all of the wind warnings we have that come and go, we don't have that long of a sustained wind at the coast very often. So that was slightly unusual. 1.51, not as much in Portland up to the north. There's the Kelso Airport with that report. We do have the KGW weather impact warning instant effect. Watching for high water spots, possible detours, mainly around river flood zones. Now, we, at noon today, have most of our flood warnings for individual rivers canceled as they have fallen back below flood stage. But there are a few continuing, and the big one is that Clackamas River going into Oregon City, where it's expected to be at or above flood stage almost all the way into the midnight hour tonight, and then about 2 feet below flood stage by the time you wake up and sunrise comes tomorrow morning. Here's what is left of the rain. This is the atmospheric river that has weakened and shifted to our south, producing solid rain into northern California. To the north of that, we're in the cooler batch of air now. Snow level is 3,000 feet. A mixed bag of sunbreaks and scattered showers feeding in. And there are some heavier downpours. You see the yellow and the red, there's some heavier showers coming in to Washington County right there, bouncing off of the Coast Range. In between the showers, though, it's pretty nice out. Chinook Winds Casino Resort in Lincoln City with some blue showing up, 48 degrees. Here's downtown Portland, and if you will, look, it probably depends on the TV set you're looking at or the computer you're using to stream, but that's a really muddy looking Willamette River. We've seen quite a bit of debris come in. Again, the river is not going any higher. It's currently setting at about 3 feet below flood stage in downtown. Can't see a lot of the seawall there as you take a close look. 46 is the current temperature. Pretty shot here, some blue and some dark clouds looking out over the vineyard from the Chehalem Tasting Room in Sherwood where it's 48 degrees. Other temperatures, chilly out east, Baker City 33, a mixed bag of rain and snow showers in eastern Oregon today. And again, the snow level over the Cascades at 3,000 feet. Your temps will stay in the 30s out east. We're in the mid to upper 40s here on the west side. Here's the 7-day forecast. 49 today. I think we'll be okay lifting the impact alert for tomorrow as most, if not all, of the river flood warnings will be allowed to expire as rivers continue to drop. Scattered showers tomorrow, more of a wet day at times picking up on Sunday, but there's no big weather systems here all the way into Christmas Day. Christmas Day, not wet, but hopefully jolly with a temperature of 47. I meant to say not white. There will be a bit wet with rain showers. All right, Tim.
Go with jolly and give it another ho, ho, ho. There it is. Ho. Thanks, Rod. Happy holidays. All right, let's get out there. It's coming up next, and we head to a special rock near McMinnville, yes, with a V. That has quite an adventure to go see. It came about in the last ice age, so stick around.
KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Well, it's time for us to get out there, and this week we're heading to the Willamette Valley for an earth-moving trip that's uniquely northwest. John Goodwin takes us to a spot just outside McMinnville for a story thousands of years in the making.
Well, hello from McMinnville, just off Highway 18. It's a short drive from Portland to get here, which is also the end point of an epic road trip. If you're a rock fan, you're going to love this one. The location, unassuming. The story, historic. This road trip had no wheels and started during the last ice age.
Oh, this is a really cool thing about Oregon.
It ended here at Erratic Rock State Natural Site. Today, this spot is something of a rest stop. A short quarter-mile hike gets you up to this amazing view of the Willamette Valley.
It's beautiful and you can see everything.
Jackie Braun and her dog Bo live a few minutes away. They stroll this path almost daily.
It's a good little uphill trek and it's pretty. The dog loves it. Everyone that comes up here takes care of it.
It's easy to see what makes this place so unique. Hey guys, anybody want to comment on how cool this is to have this right in your front yard? Tough crowd. Turns out this landmark is a 90-ton piece of bedrock.
I honestly thought it was crazy like how it got up here.
Anywhere between 12 and 17,000 years ago, it floated more than 500 miles on an iceberg from the northern Rocky Mountains during the Missoula floods. Rocks like these are called glacial erratics. Trying to fathom how much water was here back then erodes my sense of reality. So bedrock, huh? I gotta be honest, I might have taken you for granted. Sorry. This boulder is the largest known erratic in the Willamette Valley. Here before us, here after us. So if you feel out of place, perhaps a little erratic yourself, I'd argue you're just adventurous. In McMinnville, I'm John Goodwin. Let's get out there.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Okay, we're close to the weekend. What to expect?
We are. I think our weather, we had an atmospheric river last week. We had one this week. I don't see any of that next week.
Good.
And once the Clackamas gets below flood stage, which could be as late as midnight tonight, I think we'll be done with the river floods for the most part, the flood warnings. So upper 40s for the weekend. I think tomorrow's a drier day than Sunday. And then Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, kind of passing showers or rain at times, but no big storms, no wind threat, none of that. Right now, as we said earlier, Christmas Day does not look white, but it does look jolly with a high of 47. We have snow levels holding hopefully below the passes for the coming days.
Jolly and right. Happy holidays, Rod.
Same to you.
Happy holidays to all you out there. Plus, and a reminder, we've added more live news to KGW Plus. Tune in to Sunrise exclusively on KGW Plus from 7 to 9 a.m. and later tonight at 5:30. And we hope to see you then. Have a great day, everyone.